It's daybreak on the 25th of April here at Grangegorman Military Cemetery, just beside Dublin's Phoenix Park. The ceremony of remembrance that's about to begin here is jointly organised by the Australian and New Zealand embassies. It marks ANZAC Day, the date in 1915 where the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, the ANZACs, began landing at Gallipoli during the First World War. Many of those landing that day, and indeed those who fought with the Australian and New Zealand militaries later on during the First World War, were either Irish-born or of descent from this island. More than a century on from Gallipoli, ANZAC Day has become enshrined as a national day of remembrance and reflection for Australia and New Zealand. This annual Irish ANZAC Day ceremony is held here at Grangegorman because of the presence here of graves of a number of Australian and New Zealand soldiers who died on the island of Ireland during the First World War. Ambassador Gray, first and foremost, what does ANZAC Day mean to you?
It's a day of commemoration for me. It's a day that defines in many ways the kind of country that we are. And it's a day of great significance in every town, village and community of Australia and New Zealand.
And what's the experience of commemorating that this morning in Dublin, so far from home?
It's beautiful and it's poignant and it's relevant. ANZAC Day is actually our story of the ANZAC engagement at Gallipoli in 1915. But it's also the story of a courageous, valiant defence of Turkey by the men of the Turkish armed forces who drove back the ANZAC forces.
Ambassador, first of all, what does ANZAC Day mean to you?
Kia ora, it's a very moving day of remembrance for New Zealand and Australian communities, for families. Personally, it's a day of reflection on my own family's service. I'm wearing the badge actually of family members who have served in World War II, remembering what they fought for and the sacrifices they made for us, for freedom and democracy, and how, particularly in light of challenges we face in our neighbourhood today, that we can never take that for granted.
And how has the experience been this morning of commemorating this day here in Dublin, so far from home?
Oh, it's been wonderful to bring the communities back together after a 2-year hiatus. It was the young men who spoke about what ANZAC Day means to them as representatives of the Kiwi and Australian communities here was just so moving. They spoke so passionately about their own stories and how they commemorate ANZAC Day. And to be able to bring the community in after having such a gap in when we've been able to come together and remember as one was just really special. Particularly special, it's only our second ANZAC Day as a New Zealand embassy here. And so to be able to do this and to be able to share those stories, it's just been very, very special.